We didn't talk about yesterday. Last issue. This will be super short. Okay, so what do? We looked at some examples yesterday where we had a bunch of fractions, right, in an equation. And our strategy was to find the least common multiple of all the denominators. That's the least common denominator. And then just distribute that through to clear all the fractions. And then we get rid of the fractions and we're able to solve the equation without having to battle fractions the whole way, right? So what about a situation like this? It's similar. I don't think it's as big a deal. We've got a bunch of decimals here. I mean, do we really need to get rid of the decimals? I mean, not really. Honestly, we really don't. If you have you'll have access to Desmos Scientific on all tests and homeworks too. And so really you could just do this arithmetic. You know, you don't have to use a calculator, but you could. You could use a calculator to add and subtract those decimals, and that would be fine. If you wanted to, let's say you didn't have access to the calculator for some reason, and you wanted to make the arithmetic, you know, the multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting easier by getting rid of the decimals, how could you do that? Could I distribute something through to the entire equation, both sides, to get rid of the decimals? Yeah, right? Remember how decimals work. If I have a decimal number, multiplying by 10 does what to the decimal? Yeah, it moves the decimal one place to the right. Multiplying by 100 would multiply how many places to the right? 2. Yeah, you just count the number of zeros in the number, the base 10 number that you're multiplying, right? And that tells you, the number of zeros tells you how many places you move the decimal point. Well, if you look at all the numbers involved here, it looks like the coefficient of x, the first coefficient of x, and then the coefficient of x on the right side, both of those are decimals with one decimal place. They only go out to the 10th. So I could, if I just distributed 10 to each term on both sides, all I'm doing is scooting the decimal over one place. So what do I get from the first term? Instead of 0.3x, I get 3x. What's the next term going to be? 60. I have to move the decimal over one place, which just gives me another 0, right? How about the next one? And then finally? And is it that much better? You know, I don't know, not that much, but at least I don't have any decimals now. Okay, make sense? Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn you loose and